Adam
All right.
Weller.
Yeah, Adam. Well, it was just something else. Welcome everybody to qualifying 2 for the Bathurst 1000. So last night we had qualifying 1. The other drivers competed last night for an hour, did a qualifying session, and yeah, they competed last night. And then now we've got the second qualifying session underway. So the fastest of the 2 drivers will be ranked accordingly, and then they'll do that to then set the grid. So joining me in the comm box is actually the big man, the top dog, the winner of the elite class, Division 2 Porsche Cup, Mr. It's Racing. So we don't have Spud yet. I don't know if he's actually joining us, but it's a nice welcome to you while I eat my noodles.
Yeah, good evening. Pleasure to join you here tonight. I must correct you, I didn't actually win a race in the Porsche Cup, as some of you may have seen. As we look at Viper's Ed going around the track at the moment. He's currently sitting in 5th spot in qualifying at the moment on a 1:45.9. Looks like the early pace setter so far is Duran 50 in the Honda NSX with a 1:45.093. And then we have Ridwan in 2nd, followed by Captain Risky, and then Sir Slayer in 4th. Mid-Matt looked like he had a bit of a quiet lap there with a 2:09, so I'm going to say that he might have made a mistake at some point, or maybe he was just trying to find some space on the track.
Yeah, obviously it's hard with like cars like this going over the top, stuff like that. If you get in the slipstream, it kind of gives you a bit of drag, you get real bad understeer. But yeah, at the moment it's not looking too bad. So I think he's just, yeah, as you said, he's got a bit of space to himself, because we all know that's probably quicker by himself than when he's in kind of in a slipstream. So yeah, so far we've got Duran 50 in 1st on a 1:45.093. And then we have Ridwan in 2nd with a 1:45.301. Captain Risky with a 1:45.6, I believe. Sir Slayer in 5th with a 1:45.5. Captain Risky has now been moved down, so Sir Slayer's jumped in, but they're all starting to get their kind of early laps in, stuff like that, get settled into a rhythm. But we have just seen Vipers there jump up to 3rd place there, so he's 0.3 behind, so he's in a 1:45.4, so he's sitting in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, just doing a bit of comparison at the moment to last night's times as well. Bit of a slower pace so far, but I can imagine that as we get further into this session that things are going to really heat up between these guys, and we'll start seeing them lay down some really fast times as Diswood heads to the top of a 1:44.431, so still not quicker than his teammate Speedy Tyres, but still not a bad first lap for him, and I'm sure there will probably be more to come from him there.
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be I'm sensing a 49, so I'm sensing he's probably going to match his teammate. I did notice that he was a little bit slower than Speedy in some practice sessions that we did, but him, Duran and Speedy were all pretty much on par with each other, so yeah, it'd be good to see. But at the moment as it sits, so we've got the 66 currently in 1st place. Yep, there it is, he's gone 0.2 faster, so we'll see what this goes. But as we start running through, we do have the 66 in 1st provisional pole, followed by the 95 and then the 1:44 last night. So they're the top 3 at the moment, but I do believe with that 1:45 lap, actually no, Wiseacre went faster, so Wiseacre is still sitting in 3rd place.
Yeah, still pretty much the same order up until 5th place even. I dare say that there isn't actually a lot changed with the order, really. I don't think anyone's actually gone, except for Duran, but he's only a tenth slower than what Papa was last night at this stage. So even he has some time to make up to push the number 4 car up the order.
That's a real nice echo chamber you have there, Jarman.
Oh, look at who's joined!
Fortunately, my headset's gone very funny at the moment, so
yes.
I've resorted to commentating through a webcam microphone, so it's not quite as good, but hopefully it'll get us by.
How is everybody?
Good to hear your voice, mate, I'll tell you that much.
Just watching Jerem there through the top of the mountain. He's not lacking commitment, is he?
Yeah, it's a very tailored car of the Honda, especially across the S's and all over the top of Skyline, so
I remember.
It takes a lot of downforce to rein it in, heading down the hill and keep it under control and stop yourself from becoming a 1-ton pinball.
Yeah, I mean you've got to take the sensible shoes off with that car. I did some practice on this circuit with your now departed teammate Deadpool, and I was fine until we got to the mountain, and then he'd maybe get a quarter of a second on me because that man was, as we can all attest, a little bit of a lunatic behind the wheel.
Yeah. So sorry to cut you off there, but I don't know if you've seen that Viper's done a 44.9, so that's actually jumped him up into the top 6 because Brandosa did a 145 106, and he's actually gone purple here. So he's gone 0.1 purple, so I wonder if this will take him to the top. So we'll just watch him for the rest of this lap.
Look committed there as they approach the elbow, so definitely hasn't lost too much in this section. Got a decent run off Conrad, but I don't think he quite got as wide coming out of the elbow as he'd have liked. Let's see what the split is here. Yeah, he's no longer purple.
Yeah, the Lexus doesn't have the good acceleration as well. The Honda, but you have to, as you said, you have to really commit in the Lexus to try and get that thing to grip, because that thing is just, I don't know, to try and match the Hondas down the straight. You've either got to be fast up the straight and slow up the top, or slow up the top and fast up the straight. Yeah, there's no kind of real in between. But yeah, it was good to see a purple sector there.
Woodsy might be on a bit of a poor lap there at the moment, but I mean he's already set the benchmark, so I suppose he doesn't have to sweat it too much.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've seen last night, Adam was speedy, so in the 66, which is the car he's currently in, he actually set the fastest. Really, Woodsy just kind of needs practice laps here because he's kind of on.
You see there just how loose he got coming out of the final corner. Always tricky to get the throttle right there. Arguably, I find that corner a little more difficult than Hell Corner. I don't know if that's just a personal thing, but I find Hell you can get away with releasing the steering a little bit earlier, can get away with some of the runoff, and that luxury isn't really there at the final turn.
Profiles are a bit different as well. Sometimes Hell Corner you can sort of ride that curve a bit more, use it to launch you out the corner, whereas Murray's Corner it's a bit more high, so if you hit it on the wrong angle it sort of spits you out the other side through the grass.
And if you turn in at the wrong angle, that can happen to you. Ridwan F1 there with a bit of a moment, just running it wide. Very much enjoying seeing some of these new liveries. That RoboSport update looking rather fresh, as was the PLE Lexus we saw a little bit earlier on. Jarman, what gives? It doesn't look like that It's Racing esports car has changed at all since the last time I saw it.
Did make a few adjustments, mainly to the mirror colour and
you got rid of the cat on the roof as well.
Yes, I did. did
You
take
don't
the
want to
cat off
explain
the
that one
roof.
to Matty Simmons then.
I'm sure he would have got a laugh out of it.
Yeah, he's
I thought the
purple at the
numbers should
moment.
return. He's actually gone fastest of this session with a 44.3. So he's
knocking on the door of a very low 44 as well with this lap, depending on how this sector split at the Conrod goes. Of course, myself and you, Jarman, have been aware of Matt Simmons long before the GT Academy days, Mint Matt, and what a pleasure it is to see him racing.
Yeah, he was definitely top of the wish list for Cove drivers for these endurance events. Having seen firsthand what he can do behind the wheel of a virtual race car, and he certainly didn't take long to knock off my time from last night, and let's see what he produces here. Goes quicker again, so 144.2. So still sits our car in second place though.
For a start, more than okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say even at this point, I mean, as long as you're in the top 6, that's all that matters so far for the one-lap shootout tomorrow night.
We've got another guy come in. I'll get dinner.
Yeah, no, I was eating at the start. I was going to let Jarman go. It's like, oh, Adam's here now. Adam's got a better come through.
Well, I've got myself and Neil the cat here.
Yeah, and if anyone jumping into the stream doesn't know who Neil is the Trackstars mascot. So Neil is currently Adam's completely black cat. I'm not being racist. He is completely black. If anyone's in the Discord, head over to the All About King Neil channel. Actually, channel. Adam posts videos and photos in there as Matt goes 0.255. So, this is the question.
He wasn't even that much quicker over the top of the mountain. He must have found his time there kind of around the Falcon Elbow and that area, because I think he was like a couple of hundredths red coming over the top of the mountain. So let's see what the time is coming out of Murray's. Across the line now, is he going to break the 44 barrier? He could. It's going to be a 44.0, so he's going quicker and quicker. He's knocking on the door of pole position, but he's got very loose there out of Hell Corner. That will surely have compromised that lap.
Yeah, definitely. Put on that the liveries there. We've actually got the EBM cars. So I don't know if you watch the supercars much, Adam, but they're actually following in the Nissan of the Kelly boys. Nissan Altimas.
You still run the Altimas in the main Supercar Championship?
Not anymore, not this year. So they moved over to the Ford.
I was going to say, I thought they'd been consigned to history already.
Yeah, so 66 is still on pole, but that is a definite knock on the door of the 66 at the moment. So I'll just grab up the
It's not even half a tenth between them.
Yeah, so Speedy set quickest lap with a 43.997. So Matt is like not even a blink of an eye behind. So this is currently sitting the 24 PLE car in third place. So we've got the 95, the 66, the 95, and then because Viper's done a 144.7. He's now jumped up in front of Wiseacre, who set a 144.8. So he's sitting P3 at the moment, which is pretty solid there, considering that Lexus has a bit of a boat and a bit of a tugboat to get around the track.
Where is Mr. Potato, the defending champion and co?
He is currently in fourth place with a 144.9. So. His teammate where's the Mr. John? He's in the lobby, but he's not out yet. So we've got his teammate in Captain Bishki. So Punt's had a bit of a rough time. Unfortunately, he was down in 8th place, right behind me. We had
Pat's that's no problem. I mean, the Blue Moon Bay 500 winning. Disappointed. Good benchmark.
Yeah, well, I'm on a 145.116, and then it's actually surprising. So between second with It's Racing, who's on a 144.671, back down to me, I'm on a 145.1. So you're looking at not even kind of half a second between second place and seventh. So that's how
I was going to say it's kind of there's this huge gulf, isn't there, between the very sharp end and then the mid pack is all extremely close. I think it's going to be an interesting first stint come Sunday.
Yeah.
Really had to think about what day it was for you versus what day it is for me there.
Yeah, it's currently Friday night here for us, so we're in beautiful sunny Australia, because we've actually just we're going into summer, so the days are pretty hot at the moment. It's pretty. It's like 10 o'clock over there for you, isn't it?
In the morning, yeah. It's a few hours before I hop on a train and head to Snetterton, and I saw that you guys were doing quali, and I thought, why not? Bit of a warm-up. Matty
had to get you involved in the Bathurst 1000 weekend in some way, shape or form, and this might be the way to do it.
Oh, that and the BOP for Showroom Showdown, which means I've probably done about 200 laps of this place in the last couple of weeks.
200, mate. Gee, I think we've done that in practice. But yeah, no, it's very good thing you did there for us. So we appreciate that a lot.
I'll be watching with bated breath, hoping that no one ends up with a car a second a lap faster than anyone else. But certainly, to the best of my tuning and driving on this treacherous course, they're all within a couple of tenths. So, and it very much depends on the quality of the driver and the setup as well. But it could be interesting to see what ends up at the top in that one. At the top of this session, at least, of course, is Mint Matt. Just a few hundredths off his time, but don't write off the lap yet as he goes through the chase. Let's see. Turns in. On the power, a bit wiggly, as we know. The NSX is a loose cannon. I can attest to that when I drove it at Interlagos on a one-off basis. Can only imagine what it's like on the undulating mountain. Catches a bit of opposite lock as he crosses the line. Not any quicker. But Matt just nibbling on those lap times, knocking on the door of the 43s.
Yeah, I see a 43. That is damn quick around here in the cars. So that's something else. But I think at the moment it looks like all the cars are pretty set. They're probably just mucking around with a bit of tuning and stuff like that. A couple more tenths. But at the moment it looks like it's pretty set.
Last weekend, actually, at the Saxon Ring, I managed to get the opportunity to chat to Christopher Mies for a little while and brought up Bathurst. And as we know, he's a driver with lots of success at the mountain, and just the word Bathurst just sent him into this massive smile. I think he's eager to come back across at some point and go racing on the mountain again.
Yeah, I think he does have a strong love affair with this place. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe he's the one that did the 159 lap around here at Challenge Bathurst.
Yes, I think they took the restrictors off an Audi R8 GT3 car, didn't they, and sent him on his way.
Yeah, I do remember the restrictors coming off part, and just wasn't 100% sure on who the driver was.
It was Chris, I remember that.
Speaking of challenge, they because obviously I do challenge, I got that coming up in the next month or so. They had the fastest production car ever set a lap around here. So it was a Garth Walden Racing Porsche 992G. Porsche minutes 13, I'm pretty sure it was. But yeah, it's the fastest production car around the track. So he wanted to hit 300 k's down the straight, and have a guess on how close he got to it.
298.
299.7 kilometers an hour.
Woodsy there with another moment. We've seen him do that a couple of times out of Murray's, just getting onto the curb there. Yeah, so tricky under power, especially if you're messing around with the curbs. Any of these cars really, but particularly, of course, the mid-engine Editex. But yeah, great to hear that. Almost 300 k's in the mountain in a standard, well, not a standard, but in a road-going car is quite the feat, quite the achievement. And I am hoping that Challenge Bathurst might be live streamed somewhere or something like that, because I've heard a lot about it, I've just never seen it. Here comes Matt then on another run over the mountain. Looks fairly smooth. Let's see how he is at the elbow this time under braking. Looks very confident in his car, but just has to catch a slide there. That might cost him a tenth or so by the time they get to the by the time he gets to the crest of the Conrod Straight. Let's see what the split time is here.
Oh!
He's still... This is going to be a major lap. He is on for a 1:43, isn't he?
This is a well 43. This is going to be a mid 43, I think. He's 0.4 up on that time.
Goodness me, okay. Here we go across the line. You're going to have to call the time because it's all a bit pixely for me, but clearly this has been a great lap for Matt. He's across the line and it is a 43.
God! That's a 143.559. That is 4/10 faster than the 66. Oh.
Somewhere.
My
well,
God.
I know where, but It's Racing is currently smiling while taking a swig of drink and thinking, I'm going to be alright, aren't I?
It's guaranteed at Bathurst, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Matt proving his class as if we needed any proof. With that time, a 1:43.5, putting all of his chips on the table. And it's going to take a brave man to bet against him. Certainly on one lap pace. But we'll have to see if anybody is able to match him. Only the second driver, if I'm not mistaken, to get below the 1:44s in quali. Well, he's gone some way into the 43s in the process, hasn't he?
There's getting into the 43s and then there's that. That's... Mate, Matt, you need to just sit back, put your feet up. That's... Oh. Oh, my.
What a lap that was. Some improvements coming in from Dis Wood. Woodsy's exactly the kind of guy to see that time appear on screen and go, I can do that. Let's see if he can. Goes through the Falcon Elbow now. A little bit smoother.
Takes that a bit personally too.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, he does, because he said to me that ever since Matt's joined, he's actually trying to make it his mission to be faster, which is obviously what he's trying to do at the moment. So he's actually gone 0.1. Oh yeah, he went 0.1 there, but I think he went a little bit too deep under brakes there. I can't unfortunately replay because we're in a free run, but yeah, he went a little bit too deep under brakes there.
Yeah, well, he's trying hard, certainly is Woodsy. He's not one to put in half measures in terms of effort, and with the likes of Mint Matt coming in, it only gets more difficult to be at the top of the mountain, both figuratively and this weekend, literally. And oh, Woodsy just catching the grass out of the first corner, out of hell corner, and throws another lap away. Matt's still circulating, but even if he can find more time, I'm not convinced he needs to.
Yeah, definitely. That's an incredible timeline. I have an utmost respect for Matt, and it's awesome racing against him. And seeing Jarman racing at Kyoto, he said that he got faster just from racing alongside Matt. So he's gone 0.4 down, so he's still on track for a 43 on this lap as well. So he's still definitely setting the outright pace there, but we know at the moment in practice these cars lose about 1.5 to 2 seconds when you put fuel usage on. So I'm wondering if we're going to see Matt stay in the 45s or so during the race. But yeah, it's a long 161 laps. It's going to be about 5 hours or so. We've got Spud in the YouTube chat. Welcome, my friend. We've got Xylon down here in 8th place at the moment. I'm not really sure. I think that's down the back with a 150-ish, somewhere around there. So I think he's just getting his head around the car and practicing for Sunday. Jono down here. So Jono's finally out in the number 1. So there's the defending car for the defending champ of Spud. So.
How long has he given himself at this point in the session coming out on circuit?
Roughly 30 minutes.
Yeah, so 30 minutes to go. So he's got 10 minutes to adjust his tune. So within 20 minutes to go, when we don't allow anyone to jump out of the circuit and stuff like that, just to prevent glitches. So he's got 10 minutes if he doesn't like the tune to try and fix it, and then half an hour to try and better the time of Spud.
Certainly looks like he might be struggling with the brake bias down there. Car just wouldn't turn under braking. Tends to suggest that maybe he's locking up the front axle a bit too much, and sure enough he does retreat back to pit lane as Slayer with a bit of a penalty to burn out on circuit. Great to see some faces new to myself, having been kind of out of the loop with the touring cars for a little while, and some of the old favourites, the old Chargers who we always see in the field. That's always great to see an influx of new membership and interest, and of course the 1000 gives you a great opportunity to maybe see some of the main Trackstars touring cars runners for seasons to come. Of course, some of these guys will have come out through TS2 and other categories, or in the case of Mr. It's Racing, he's cozied up to a professional racing driver. But nonetheless, we do get a nice variety of drivers from various Trackstars series in the 1000.
I think It's Racing's pulled a bit of cards over his butt there to try and get Matt to race with him. So unfortunately, he's having a bit of a downgrade with my signing next year. So I'll do what I can next year. But I don't know if you know, Adam, but Jarman isn't actually racing next year.
No, I am aware. He informed me of that, I think, quite a way before anyone else knew about it, and I think at the time he had his eyes on a super team that then kind of fell apart. I think he had eyes on both yourself and Deadpool, but we'll have to see what the It's Racing lineup looks like come next year.
Certainly have a few ideas, and keep my cards close to my chest and see how it all pans out, and when I get something actually sorted.
Jono's on a green lap here, so we'll see what Jono's got.
A good run through Hell Corner at the first split.
So you're looking around, a 16.3 to a 16.2 through the first sector.
It's about 3/10 down on mid at the first sector, so a little bit off.
To be 3/10 down on a 43.5 in a Lexus, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, I will admit that isn't too bad, although that is just one corner and a couple of straights.
Jono tips it downhill, having already gone over Brock's skyline, now through the S's. Got to make sure to cut just enough of that sector and not end up accruing a penalty. I think we saw that a few moments ago, that you can get a pen quite easily there, and almost almost touching the Falcon branding out of the elbow there. Jono did very well to avoid the barriers there. I think the Lexus RCF comes with the force built in, and through the chase goes the number 1 car. Jono tips it in under the bridge and towards the final corner. I guess this is his first proper benchmark, so we're going to have to see what kind of time he puts in. I don't think it's quite going to be in the 44s. Looks like it might end up being 46. Yeah, 146 point, is that 1.027, is that?
386. No?
145.927. So
okay, so he just about got under the 46 barrier after all. Not a bad benchmark to work with. We'll see how Jono improves as the session wears on.
Yeah, definitely. It's a mix of drivers compared to Kyoto, I think, because obviously back at Kyoto we saw Woodsy up on the top, so he took that. Actually, Speedy. I think if I remember correctly, Jarman, that was Speedy that took that to the top by like 0.004 faster than Woodsy. If I can remember, I can't remember. It was a while ago.
Woodsy.
The third session, Woodsy went fastest. And then I think I was about 3 or 4 tenths down on that. And then it was very much a Viper Z versus mid-map battle in the second qualifying session.
Yeah, there was a battle with Risky and Jono too. So they were at the top. So we had Matt, Viper, Jono, and Captain Risky fighting for the top 4. Well, it was a good one to watch, I'll tell you that much.
See if Woodsy can improve this time around. Under the bridge he goes. Rounding the final turn in the 66. Clean on the throttle as he comes out of the final corner. It's still deep in the 44s at the moment for Woodsy. Not an improvement on his best time either.
Should mention that Viper Z's jumped up to what's effectively third place with a 44.618. So I think by my calculations that actually puts the number 24 in third place overall.
Yeah, at the moment it does. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it does. There's Wiseacre, who was third, did a 44.8. So it's actually jumped to number 4 as well with a 144.6. So Wiseacre's dropped down to 5th place.
And the number 1 is on the bubble.
Yeah, so the number 1 is currently in 6th place and he's got 144.9. So if Ridwan can do a 144.904, so taking about a tenth or 2 off his current time, he'll actually put the number 1 out of contention. So I'll be definitely one to watch that Robbo Sport car. But I don't know if you know, Adam, we've actually got 1 Robbo Sport car and 1 SDRT because they were unfortunately out of the top 5 in the team. So yeah, so we've got Ridwan in the RSR car, and then we've got Ballistic Ben in the SDRT car. So unfortunately we couldn't have any room for those 2 cars. So kind of a fight down the bottom.
So what banner is Robos is Lurox under then?
He's under EBM.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we've actually got the defending champions going up against each other in Speedy and Lurox.
Yeah, that's real interesting. That is actually, yeah, that should be quite the spectacle come Sunday. Wood on another attempt at a lap. Let's see the split this time. Still a little ways off his own personal best. I think maybe just starting to overdrive the car a little bit, but of course that is only one corner, although you can make or lose quite a lot at Hell Corner. Let's see where he is by the time he gets to the top of the mountain. The climb has started in earnest. Oh, just clipping the wall. That costs you a couple of tenths. Look at the sensation of speed in this camera as he runs up through Brock's skyline and then over the crest, and it's all downhill from here, quite literally. Good run towards the elbow by the looks of it. look fairly tidy. Question is it fast? I think we'll get a look really at the potential of this lap as he comes down the Conrod Straight onto this next split. We're topping 300 kilometers an hour by the time we see the next time. 312 odd Ks, and what is that split there? I didn't get to see that, DJ.
Was it down 0.44? But we see here,
so
Slayer's put the 55 in contention of the top 6. So he's gone with a 145.0. So he's gone closer to Spud. So if I was Spud, I'd be definitely gritting my teeth there. He's got 2 cars on the very brink there of dropping that number 1 out of the top 6. So definitely be a surprise coming Sunday.
absolutely. Starting position, certainly not the be-all and end-all in the 1000. However, certainly in terms of keeping your nose clean in the first couple of laps, it's probably much easier to be burning from the stern rather than getting your elbows out for 6th or 7th place.
Yeah, definitely. But as we know, I think it would be kind of more bragging rights between the likes of Captain Jono, Matt and Viper, because I don't know as you know, but they're all pretty close with each other, racing with each other, so they kind of have their own little thing between each other. Yeah, it's surprising we don't see them a little bit further up the pack. I don't think they're getting a hold of that Lexus around here.
Yeah, I think one V8 Supercar team manager once said that basically qualifying at Bathurst is pretty well just a giant stroking of egos.
For one glorious day, Greg Murphy had the biggest ego that side of the equator.
Yeah, you could definitely say that especially on that day.
And then Scott McLaughlin actually did the same thing while putting a wheel on the grass up at Skyline too. So I think his ego was probably the biggest that he's ever had before getting his first podium back in the Volvo S60. So
Am I wrong for wanting Van Giz to follow Scotty and see how he'd do in the IndyCars?
It'd be definitely good to see, but Captain Risky's gone 0.1 here on his best time. So if he does that, he may jump into the top 6 if he holds his time. So try and follow him to see what time he can get. So he's 0.072 behind Sir Slayer. Jarman, I just seen Ridwan up in front of Slayer, so can you jump on the time if you can?
Yep, I'll just have a quick look. I just got to post an admin message quickly.
He's gone 0.2 faster, so will the 47 go into the top 6? That is the question.
I think he's knocking on the door of it at the moment. Into the elbow goes Risky. Little bit of understeer to contend with, but
Yes,
as you said, executed nicely.
Ridwan has done a 44.8, so
That's the 6. That's the number 1 out of the 6, I believe.
yes, at this stage, the 79 has knocked the number 1 out of the top 6.
Okay, well here comes the 47. That's too fast. Yeah. Oh, Risky was on such a good lap, and he took one risk too many, and he's ended up in the dirt. Viper's Ed is going to have to avoid his fellow Lexus. Let's see what Viper's time looks like on this occasion in the PLE Lexus. Out of the final corner, comes across the line. We don't know any of the splits. It's a 44.7, so nothing too much of an improvement or anything too drastic out of Viper on that occasion.
Yeah, so that's I'm very surprised that happened to the number 1 there. So that's shaking everything up.
As indeed, the Mash Spuds racing outfit, the number 1, adorned to the side of that car for good reason. Spuds' successes in 2020 really spanned the entirety of Track Stars, but I think it's fair to say that 2021 coming in with a influx of competition has certainly made things harder for Spud, but also he's just had a rotten run of luck, as we see Jono there having a bit of a spin, but manages to collect it. Hopefully hasn't compromised anyone else.
I don't think anyone else is on a green lap, so they're all on out laps. Coming through, get a little bit sideways through there, and luckily doesn't pick up any damage. So.
Oh, Tokyo Drift, and compromises, I believe, his old car, as it were.
Yeah. He had to hold the brakes there. Yeah, he's just done it there, so he's kind of compromised rewind there, so that's unfortunate. Has Matt actually gone faster? I think Matt's actually gone faster.
He has too.
He has. He's gone faster than 143.547, so he's gone faster by like
a fraction of a tenth, but nonetheless, still a good effort to back up that lap.
Yeah, so
He just doesn't stop, does he, does Matty? There's a reason that he's one of the best in the Australasian region, the Oceania region in Gran Turismo. There's a reason, of course, that he ended up with that factory Nissan seat in the Blancpain series, and that's because he is a very determined and very capable driver. Woodsy looks like he's on a good lap at the moment. Let's see what his time is at the next split. He's a couple of tenths up on himself by the looks of it. Tips it through the S's and towards the elbow. Woodsy pushing on again. Let's see what his run is. Onto Conrod. Good run onto Conrod there. Absolutely no margin between the side of his car and the wall out of the elbow. As the car heads down Conrod, the 66, he's going to have his fingers crossed, so hopefully not too crossed, because he still needs to turn for the chase.
yeah, run a little bit too deep in there, and it can all turn to a bunch of lemons, as you saw Cameron. So it's not hard, especially down here at Murray's as well. You brake a little bit too late, and then you end up on the inside curb. Oh, he just compromises his lap there. He still goes faster.
That's close to his time again. I'm just following on the screen.
Oh goodness, okay, yeah, so here we see Matt on the screen. Passes under the Audi bridge. 95 car, full tilt. Is that 1,000th of a second?
No, he's up by 0.081, so he might be on for a 43.4 here.
Goodness me. Well, let's follow him through Murray's then for the final time. Approaches the braking zone. Does he nail it? Let's see. Turns in. Looks like he's got that perfectly smooth. Yeah, absolutely brilliant run through Murray's. What is the time? Oh, he lost a couple of hundredths there in the final sector. Well, lost about a tenth all told, but he is not backing out in the slightest. Immediately committed going through Hell Corner. Let's see what the split is. This time through Sector 1. He is purple again. He is cooking on gas at the moment.
Whatever gas he's cooking on, mate, I want some of that.
I think it might be Octane 102.
5.6, so he's got a little bit of time back at the moment. So he's just done a 40, his best is a 49.1 at the moment. So he's a little bit off the pace, but probably doesn't have much practice going in the Lexus. But those guys keep it consistent. They try and stay on the lead lap as best they can. They should be in for a decent one. But we'll go back here and see if we can catch Matt's second split. So we'll follow him through the last.
So still very close to. He's pretty well on par with his best lap at the moment.
Looked like he got a bit of a wiggle on out of the elbow, but we saw that out of his best lap as well, so don't rule out the time just yet. He is still purple as he comes through the chase. Let's see if he can nail it together in the final sector. This time down through the gears, turns in, just the bridge and Murray's left. Very eager to see what the time is this time. Handing it over to you, DJ, because I can't quite read the splits properly.
Yeah, by 0.1. So Jono, what's he got there? So he's got a 144.7. So where does that put him? So that jumps him
puts
up.
him back in the 6.
That puts the number 1 back in the 6.
To the third row then for Jono and Spud, but still a fair bit of session left to run.
Maybe Spud got the old whip out after hearing that he'd been knocked out and just relayed the message through. We've got to get back into this top 6 so that we can have a crack tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure that Spud will be over the moon for that one, because I know that he was a bit unfortunate there seeing the reigning champion out of the top 6 shootout for this. So. He was down a little bit there. Catch. Risky 3. A little bit wide on the exit there of the chase.
Would have cost him too much time though. Might still have some dirty tyres through Murray's.
Looks like it's going to be enough time. Not quite. So he's still on a 43.9.
Still just on
Very loose.
It's just a 145.018, so he's just a fraction outside of 43s.
So at the moment we've got Matt in first on a 143.5, Diswood on a 44.3, Viper on a 44.61, Jerem on a 44.67, Jono Stan on a 144.7, Ridwan on a 144.8. So those 3, 4, 5 and 6, they're all separated by about 2.5 tenths at the moment. So really around here it's not quite that much. Got the listing. So the mid pack seems to be pretty close, the same as last night. So, oh Matt, what are you doing, my friend?
I think there might have been a wheel on the dirt at Brock Skyline there.
Yeah, I know that these Hondas are definitely, as you said, very sketchy.
I'll decide which end it wants to lead with.
Spud asking Ridwan close on time. So Ridwan's on a 144.869, so he's currently 0.14 behind Wiseacre. So I think if Ridwan goes faster, like 144.855, that then pushes the 26 out of the top 6.
I'm just going to disappear momentarily to claim some hydration, but I'll be back with you in a second.
Yeah, so at the moment we've got the 95, 66, and then the 24. So 44.6. So that's why is it down to so Wiseacre's gone to the 5th. 144.869, yeah. So if Ridwan can go any faster, he will then put the 26 out of the top 6 contention, which is very surprising considering Ridwan Wiseacre was considerably fast last night from what I saw.
Wiseacre definitely had some pace there in that Nissan. I think he made the comment that he basically wrung everything he could out of that thing, but certainly an interesting 10 minutes coming up, or probably more like 8 minutes now, but interesting to see what Ridwan can do in the last 10 minutes, or maybe someone like Says Slayer or Captain Risky might spring a surprise as well.
Yeah, obviously Captain's a 0.14 behind Ridwan, so if he can get as much as a 10th and a half up, that then puts the two MSR, the two Mashbuds racing cars in the top 6. So it'd definitely be a repeat of Kyoto, of the It's Racing, PLE, the two MSR, and the CP cars. So it's 0.016 up at the moment. So just follow Captain to see if he can go any faster this lap.
Look to have it very stable through there. A bit wide there and into the wall. Very, very Greg Murphy style there.
Yeah. Time difference between Viper and Jono is about 0.17, so not much. There's really not much in this top 6 at all. Obviously, disregarding Matt, because Matt's in a league of his own. But yeah, between position 3, 4, 5 and 6, I'm thinking there might be about maybe a 10th to a 10th and a half, if that.
Definitely very close between all of these guys, and definitely gives something to look forward to in these final 5 or 6 minutes of this session.
Kind of looks like a really nice exit out of Griffin's Bend there, so a little bit of understeer coming through the cutting there.
Yeah, the tail end looked a bit wobbly there coming into the cutting. But other than that, it looked very smooth. Interesting to see. I'd like to see what his split is going across the top of the mountain. Yeah, it looks like he's about half a second down. Just having a look here. Mint did go purple last time around in sector 2. He's not far off from his best time for sector 1, but it looks like he's about 2 tenths down at the moment.
If anyone isn't up to specs, we actually have tyre wears on with fuel wears off, so it basically turns the car into a feather as Woodsy puts a wheel on the dirt there, and it spits him into the wall. So that can turn your race from good to bad. So as much as it hurts, that can lose you up to 30-40 seconds, because then you'll have to go into the pits in the race and get that damage fixed. So definitely, I wouldn't want to run around here with any sort of damage.
Yeah, it would all depend on the amount of damage you have and how much time or how many laps you have left in your stint before a pit stop or something like that. Whether you can gain a bit of time by staying out or whether you're better off coming in. But I think it's going to be very crucial come Sunday to keep your car out of the walls and damage free as much as you possibly can.
Whatever's Matt put into that Honda, he's running on some sort of special octane, I'm telling you that much. Jump down the back here. We've got Slayer pretty well. We've got Lurox, which is, I'm surprised Lurox is only doing about a 146, so I don't know if he's got the right tune in that. I would have figured he would have seen that 34 up a little bit higher.
Yeah, it is surprising. Well, he's actually the 35, but yeah, I would have expected Lurox to be a lot further up. Him and Little Blacko ran to second last year. Of course, the only thing that I could really point to is the different specs this year. Whether he just can't quite handle the extra power and the less weight compared to the standard BOP of the Group 2 cars.
The lunatic spec, as I lovingly call it.
It was definitely a lunatic spec around the what was that track that I didn't like?
Spark or Topless, Nürburgring. I could basically list half the tracks off in the one point you told me you didn't
anything
like
with
them.
more corners than BMB.
Actually, no. I got the round win at Spa. I don't know if you've seen that, Adam. I took the round win at Spa in the wet, so I got a third and 2 firsts. So I actually excelled in myself there, so I'm pretty proud.
He started the night by saying, "I don't like this track."
I don't like this track. Qualified 5th, ended up getting 3rd. Jarman was on another level in the first race, but as we start to approach,
Still didn't win.
yeah, well, you were catching spot, so that was definitely good. But yeah, you just pulled away from me. But in that second and third race, I think I pulled something out of the hat. That Lexus definitely gripped up. So it was, I had Woodsy on my tail though for that last race. Give it another, say, 1 or 2 laps and he would have caught me. But no, it was good to get the round win there, but it definitely wasn't good to cop the 3% ballast that followed. So, I lost.
Just be glad you only had that ballast for 1 week.
Yes, I was, because I actually lost it the week before, and then I got it again. But we got Spud in the chat, so it'll be a good battle for 3rd for the 90. Yeah, it'll be a good battle for 3rd, because I reckon we're going to have about 4, maybe 5 cars in the contention for 3rd place. But he's saying the 95 and 66 are on another level. That's a definite fact there. Yeah, Lurox isn't comfortable with the regulations at the moment, so as you said, I don't think he's comfortable with the different aero and speed package that we've given him for this year. So Brandosa actually qualified pretty well last night, so he qualified in the top 6. And then we've got Zylon, he's taken a bit of a chunk out of his time, so he was doing a 49.1, he's down to a 48.3, so that's pretty good to see.
Certainly getting there, isn't he? Let's see where he can...
Jono is just going to squeeze in another lap. The checkered flag's going to come out for Xylon.
There we go.
On a 144.869, so that puts the 26 of the Shadon Racing Team and SDRT Wiseacre in 6th place. So that's the outstanding effort there from Wiseacre. As they're all starting to come on.
We'll let you know Matt is 0.086 down on his best time so far. He's just about to head over the top of the hill. And it's 0.028.
Will you go purple here? That is the question.
Matt's been exemplary so far in this session, and he's let it go there. He was in the last chance saloon. Not that he had too much to worry about, but just ended up dropping the car on the dirt. Still probably a quicker time than half the pack.
So, have a quick look at the timing screen. What was it?
That last lap was a 45.7, so it was still quick, definitely. But yeah, at the moment, no, actually, no, it wasn't a 45.7. It was a 44.8. So yeah, definitely still quick.
So that's the session wrapped up then.
Absolutely. One may say few surprises as to the driver at the top, but of course the story of qualifying for the 1000 is not over, is it, folks?
No, still another, I'll call it half an hour of qualifying left to go. We've 6 drivers having man and machine tackle the mountain tomorrow night for 1 lap only for a chance at pole position for Sunday's race. Probably the most enjoyable part of the weekend for a lot of these guys will be being able to have that track all to yourself, no one else on it, just you alone trying to set the fastest lap time possible.
that one lap can really show, as we've seen back at Kyoto. So that was an outstanding shootout to see there. But we had Matt actually go purple through. He was down through sector 1. So Viper had the fastest time, I believe, and then Matt was purple through sector 2 and then lost it through sector 3 and ended up being second. So that actually started the 24 on pole. So it's kind of a mid-Matt Viper Z show, but we've got the 66 splitting the two at the moment. So it'll definitely be an interesting one tomorrow. But yeah, bring on the shootout and bring on the race. This will be 1,000 medal, mate. Definitely. I don't think I've obviously only been in the league for pretty much about a year, but yeah, the competition is definitely very, very strong this year.
Yeah, it's definitely been the strongest it's ever been.
Absolutely concur with that. I seem to remember, DJ, that this is where you end up super subbing halfway through the race.
Yeah, I actually super sub for the other ETS racing car, which was Justin. So Justin doesn't actually race anymore, so he actually gave away his PlayStation to someone who lives in his neighborhood. So yeah, but it was good, and it was actually in the Lexus as well. So lo and behold, look at that. But yeah, it's been a year since I subbed in, but I've definitely come a long way since then.
Crazy to think you're almost about to go full circle, starting track stars in the NITS racing car and coming back.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's going to be sad leaving PLE, but it's been good at the moment with the other drivers as well. Obviously, had your bands. Obviously, started out with me and Jakesy. Starting off, when Jakesy had work, and then we had HSB jump in, and then now we're set with the PLE, MSR, second car, so the 405 as Xylon, and coming for you, sitting behind the wheel. So that's a toll PLE. So Spud's done the beautiful livery for that one. But yeah, so it's good to see those guys jump in. But yeah, I guess it's that deal's kind of been set in stone for a couple of months to come back to its racing. So it's going to be good. Going to be a good year next year, and obviously we're still looking for the next driver. But we do have a couple of things on the cards to play. So definitely be on the watch for who the driver lineup may be next year.
I'm teaching Neil how to use the G29. It's all good.
Oh mate, I'll have Neil as my co-driver anytime.
Co-driver or teammate?
Co-driver, teammate. Either
Maybe we could see a Neil / Zara co-driver pairing.
Yeah, so that concludes qualifying too. So for anyone there, we'll be getting the results up and done, and we'll get it out so far. But at the moment, as it stands, we'll have number 95 on provisional pole at the moment, with the 66 and the 24, pretty much the same as Kyoto. So we had the 95, the 24, and the 66. So it was definitely. Will it be a 3-car race for the Enduro Series? I wonder.
Anything is definitely likely there.
Yeah.
I probably would have said after the Kyoto race that you would say that it was all between probably the 95, 24 and 66.
Yeah, it'd be good to see the MSR cars try and get up there as well. So, but as everyone always says, 161 laps is a long time, and you only need to lead around the last corner to win the race, which is what Chaz Foster did. So you don't really need to lead a lap to win the race. But yeah, it's going to be a long race come Sunday. Definitely going to be a good one. So we'll have the streamer. Kenji's going to be streaming that. So I know you're going to be out and about, Adam, but you never know, you might jump in and put it on in the background.
Possibly, yeah. I'll have to see. I think maybe you'll be approaching the end of the race as I get breakfast, so I might be I might be poking in and seeing what's going on towards the end, but certainly I can't risk an all-nighter ahead of Caterham racing at Snetterton. Caterhams require a lot of energy, so I need to make sure I get some sleep in.
Yeah, definitely. But no, it was good to see you jump in, and it was good to hear from you. But it's unfortunate that that now we're having to do the commentary. Obviously, we're trying to get better as we go. But yeah, you're pursuing your real life commentating, so it's good to see you going.
Well,
with
as I alluded to on the Discord, I don't think I'm anywhere for the next 3 weeks, and then as winter rolls in for me, I've not got much going on, so, you know.
Ooh, will
You could be back for the Tokyo night race then.
Yeah, dangling that proposition at you, yeah.
That'll be a very interesting one to stream and commentate, I imagine, especially as it probably has a chicane very similar to the one that proved so entertaining at Dragon Trail.
The race of a million safety cars.
I think we all talking about Bert Mylander taking driver of the day at Spa, but I think Robbo ain't that at Dragon Trail.
Absolutely.
All right then. Well, as we finish that one, that is the end of qualifying too. So it's good to see everyone jump in and see those quick times we were doing. But a big thank you again to Adam. It was you kind of snuck in. I didn't hear anything happen, and then he just kind of popped up. So no, it was good to see you jump in.
No, thank you very much for having me, guys.